Hey, how's everybody doing today? Get started. So, hey, I just want to welcome you today. My name is Ricardo Cordu. I want to welcome you to the Question of the Day weekly review. And so, if you've been following me, you know I've been coming on Fridays and actually reviewing. What I do is short snippets of questions of the day, thoughts that I'm thinking about, things that I'm doing, uh, that I'm thinking about during the day in the morning time. I kind of do a little short video and kind of ask questions. And so what I started doing is, because people have been responding and asking questions, what I've been doing is taking those same questions and doing a weekly review. So for the question of the day, I'm going to go ahead and start. So I do Monday through Friday and kind of review everything from there. And so today, so the first question is, how do you keep your mind focused for the week? And based off of some of people's reviews, I would say one person responded and said that they like to thank God, and so it keeps them thanking God. It keeps them focused on why they're there, why what they're doing is relevant, and so it helps them by saying thank you, thanking God out loud. It's something that helps them kind of zone in. And so I'll piggyback off of that today, and I'll talk about that. So how do you keep your mind focused for the week? And so so for me, I do when I get up in the morning, I spend time in prayer. I spend time in reading, and in that time in prayer and reading, I reflect on things that I'm challenged with and things that I'm going towards. So, for instance, I'll explain that to you. So, let's say, for instance, I'm dealing with, so right now I just started a new career. So, I'm dealing with those thoughts of getting better and working on my craft and just honing in on the things that I need to learn so I can be the best at what I'm doing. And be the best at what I'm doing. When it says I'm doing for me, what I feel like I'm getting daily, I'm getting better. And so as I begin that process of focusing in, that spending that time, that's how I focus in. So that spending that time in prayer, reflecting, looking over my goals, and term reviews. So the short term is for that week. What's some 2 or 3 things that I can do this week that one, I will stretch myself, and the other two I will accomplish. So I set 3 goals, but the stretch goal is something that will probably take me 2 to 3 weeks to accomplish. But I stretch myself so I won't get stagnant. And so what that does, that automatically keeps me focused. So no matter what's happening around me, whether it's something comes up with the finances, or car breaks down, or somebody I know gets sick, or something happens where it's just a lot of things happening at the job where a lot of parts are moving that makes things uncomfortable. I'm focused because I'm spending that time. Like, don't let that distract you. You still have a main objective that you need to get done. And so what happens is it becomes an ability to become laser focused on what your objectives are. And then, sometimes what I find myself doing also is, with that time period when I'm spending time, I start thinking about, once I do accomplish those 2 goals, the three, that stretch goal, what will that do? What would that really add to the skill set? What would that do to my atmosphere? What would that do for my family? What would that do for me? And you start kind of thinking about that, and then you think about, what will it do for others? How many people will I touch if I accomplish this? What would this do for the skill set and the value that I would bring to the table, that will allow people to really take the pieces of what I'm talking about and the systems I'm creating? What will it do for them in the future? How long will it take them to catch on to that fire too? So you kind of start thinking about things like that. And so that keeps me focused, keeps me motivated, keeps me going, keep me pushing forward. And so that was question one. So question two, things you look for in partnership. And so that was on Tuesday. So Tuesday I was thinking about partnership and good relationships and mentors and listening to the right people and the right things. And I asked the question, what some things you look for? And I would go to tell you that, some things that I look for me. I look for people who are, being able to be held accountable, people who have high level integrity, people who have something to lose. Like, you ever been around somebody who just doesn't have nothing to lose? Like they just very like sporadic. They don't care about who's around them. They just, man, they're just very dangerous. And it doesn't make you feel secure. It makes you question, like, okay, why am I over here? Why am I around these people for? That's what happens when you start being really thinking about the things who you want around your circle and the people you want to affiliate yourself with. Partnership is such a strong connection. Not only partnership in marriage, right? Marriage is very important. You having a good relationship with your spouse and being able to communicate and laugh and plan and build and pray for each other. But having other people outside of that marriage, like who are just mentors or friends, people who can make you laugh and keep your mind stable, somebody who will hold you accountable even when you're messing up, that you have enough trust where they can say, hey man, I see you going through some things, and I see you been kind of veering off of what you usually, but I've seen you kind of stand for. Is everything all right? Somebody to talk to you in that way is something amazing about that. And then in partnership, we're talking about business too now. Let's talk about business. There's a lot of people out here who are trying to do things on their own.
I'm fixing that.
Okay, all right. There's a lot of things that people are trying to do on their own. They're trying to start their own business. They're trying to set up their own nonprofit and trying to help all these people. But, I learned a long time ago from a mentor that what you do is important, but what you do for God is more important. And anything that you do that's where you can do it all on your own, then it's not set up like how God would set it up. And why I say that is because when you're doing something that pulls you and focus you and makes you concentrate, you're doing something that's bigger than yourself. And so partnership is going to be needed to get things done in this season in life. Like, even with the nonprofit, where I see a lot of nonprofits trying to pop up and do their own thing and things like that. But, all the grant money that they're looking for and all these different things, man, if you haven't figured this out yet, if you partner with somebody who's doing the same thing you're doing, maybe they might be doing something a little bit different and you might be doing something a little bit different, but the core of what y'all do are the same thing. Y'all trying to reach the same people. If y'all would have partnered together and focus in on that partnership, the things that y'all are doing the same, and then add on to what the other parts of each other are doing and coming together, I guarantee you that you will see much more traction in the grant world. You'll see much more traction in what you're doing in your local community and who you're reaching, because it's something about doing something that's bigger than yourself. It challenges you to connect with other people. It challenges you to make connections that will be sustaining, but also allow you to build a bridge to get to where your heart's desire is. And so partnership is very key in life. And there's so many things that people teach you to do on your own, but some things, man, it's so much better with partnership. So that was number 2. So now we're down to number 3. So this one for number 3 was what's some things that you do for confidence and reassuring yourself. And so, I would go for I would say this first analogy, this first example of confidence. So as me being an athlete, spending time in practice when I was playing basketball, when I was playing soccer, the time I spent in practice and doing drills, that helped me build confidence. That showed me that, the skill sets that I was building over time. First, I could only drill with one hand. Now I could drill with 2 hands. Before, I could only shoot 3 feet in. Now I can shoot 30-footers, 3-pointers. Before I couldn't cross under my legs without messing up, or crossing over ahead. I'm saying these things before I couldn't do all these different things before, but over time, as I began to practice, my confidence began to get better. And so that's for sports though. But for when it comes to life, when you are facing something, when it comes to a new career, new challenge, you have to begin to remind yourself of the things that you've done in the past that helped you face a challenge or overcome an objective. And so confidence, for me, I like praying in the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit brings confidence to me. So when I'm going in throughout my day, or setting up and going up and praying and things like that, that helps me go forward. Also with confidence too, also reading things and educating myself, taking the time to get better in what I'm learning and what I'm doing in life, and being around good quality people we talked about earlier, having good relationships, that helps me build confidence. Having good friendships, that helps me build confidence. And so speaking to yourself and reminding yourself about who you are, where you're going in life, the goals that you have, what you're going to accomplish, that helps you build confidence and build boldness. And so that was number 3. So number 4 for the question of the day review is, let me see, what do you do to stay excited about your day? So what's something that you do right now you would think that helps you stay excited about your day? So that's a question I asked earlier in the weekend. For me, it goes back to goal setting. It goes back to prayer. It goes back to focusing in on my goals and my perspectives and things like that. That helps me be excited. One person, I remember a couple people saying they get up early in the morning and exercise. So for them, exercise, it helps them get excited about the day they're about to face and things they're about to do. Another thing is having group meetings, or being around business owners or entrepreneurs, people who are going forward and listening to stories or testimonies and stuff like that, is another way that people stay excited about their day and the things that they're doing in life. It's something about being around people who are doing good things. It's something about their energy. You catch that energy to help you be excited about what you're doing. I always tell people to practice your story, practice talking about the things that you're doing. So see Faith Frink, she talks about prayer, vision, affirmations, empowerment, reading my word. It excites her too, also exercising. So that's some things that she does, and she's a powerful, you should follow her actually. She's a powerful human being, and all the things that she's doing financially, insurance. I see she does a lot of different things. But follow her. She does amazing things. Great book. What was your name of your book? Was it Faith? It's a faith book that I read that she has that was really good, about stretching your faith and really walking in your purpose. Great book. So the 5th one, the last one, what I talked about is was what do you do to help with timing and patience? What are some things that you put in place to help you with timing and patience? And so it's funny because the first thing my mentor ever told me was timing is everything. And I was like, I understand that, but what do you mean timing is everything? And he began to tell me and show me, like, in time, you'll learn patience. In time, you will gain knowledge. In time, you will gain wisdom. You will go through ups and downs in life, but it's about the patience and the learning and the journey and all the things that you learn in between the time. That's what becomes important to you. It's the memories of accomplishment. It's the memories of challenges that you could have gave up. You could have not made it, but you're still standing, and you understand that you had to go through that pressure point. You had to go through that hill. You had to go through that valley, and then you learned how to teach yourself to speak to the mountain, tell it to be removed, and cast it to the sea. Don't doubt your heart, and you begin to speak to your day. You begin to change your atmosphere. You begin to be aggressive with life. Is when timing becomes of essence to you. And so I do a training about timing and about time management in your business, in your day, what things you do through your time period. And so I always used to give this analogy because people, when they first start business, they're known as weekend warriors usually, just because they're working their job and they say, hey, I have a hobby or I have a skill set that I want to do, and I want to go ahead and start making extra money in my household. And so I used to teach a teaching about weekend warriors just because I used to try to show people how to get the most out of their time in that short period of time period, but still have a balance when it comes to your family, when it still comes to your prayer life, things like that. Because without balance, the right kind of balance, you will topple over and it will ruin everything. And so, excuse me. But with the timing aspect, um, fear, people have a level of fear when it comes to running out of time. You ever met anybody who was older in age, and they're really scared and they're really upset and mad about the things they went through in life, and the main thing they say is, I wish I had more time. I wish I would have took more chances. I wish I would have. I wish I would have. Well, I caught that early in life, and it's something about when you take the time out to recognize that your life is important, is when you start valuing time. And I remember reading scripture, it talks about how don't force yourself to the table because you'll leave a fool, but allow people to invite you. Um, the reason why that stuck with me is because I remember as a young man, and I'm still young, but as a younger man, I remember I used to be like, man, when is it gonna be my chance? When is it gonna be my shot? I can do this good. I know I can. I know I can. And so I used to force things, and me forcing it, I used to break relationships up. I would burn bridges, and then I realized one day that you know what, man, if I would just waited just a little bit longer, that person would have invited me to the table. Or I started realizing that, man, I really wasn't prepared as much as I thought I was. And so it became one of those things where I was like, it actually is funny because me forcing myself to break through things like that, it taught me how to be aggressive, but it also taught me fear. Because when you are in a new place and you're in a new arena and you've been fighting so long to be there, or you prematurely got there before you were ready, you start really figuring out that, man, maybe I didn't have the right relationships. I wasn't stable as I thought I was. So financially, I wasn't where I wanted to be. And so I broke through to get somewhere, but then I didn't have the right financial education to stay there. And so I faltered. And so now when I break through again, I have the financial reservoirs. I have everything in structure. I know financial literacy. I know financial education. I know how to balance my financial sheets, and I know how to do my projections. I know how to be strategic and connecting with people and making moves, things. I know sources that I didn't know before that will help me keep growing and keep going this time, right? And so you getting something too quickly, forcing time before it's time for yourself, can be damaging. And so what I'm talking about this week is when I talk about, the questions of the day, weekly review, and things like that. I want you to start asking yourself questions daily, things that are relevant for you. What am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I managing my money right? Do I have the right relationships? Do I need to get high? Do I need to make new relationships in the field that I'm in? Where am I going in the next 1 year, 3 year, 5 year? Who am I going to become? Am I doing things right? Am I focused? You start asking yourself these questions, because all this does is help you refine yourself daily. It helps you be a melting pot of love, compassion, favor. It helps you give grace to others. So, because if you can understand where you're at, and you can see other people struggling in that area, then you can speak to that and you can understand and give them grace. because you give yourself grace, because nobody's perfect, right? And so I thank you for joining me on the review of the question of the week, or question of the day. So you'll see me next week, Friday. Follow my Instagram, because every day, Monday through Friday, I actually say when I'm thinking about that day and ask myself a question. And during that, ask yourself those questions, because everything that I do is about self-help. It's about self-development. It's about God. It's about creating change, impacting people, impacting your community. So my hopes is that the questions I ask myself were questions that you can ask yourself, that will help you refine yourself, be the best person you're called to be, and begin to do the things that you've never done before. Okay? So my name is Ricardo Cordu, and I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, that your days are sweet as honey, that your life bring you much joy and much laughter. Remember, life is love and love is life. I'll see you on the winning side. I'll see you next week on the question of the day weekly review. I love you. Have a wonderful 4th of July. Hope you enjoy your family. Hope you're able to do something that makes you laugh and brings love and joy to your life. I love y'all. Have a wonderful day.